Back with someone that you guys are very familiar with, Brittany with Dryshield. Brittany, what's up?
Hey, Dr. Vo, how you doing?
I am doing great, and I'm so happy to have you back because uh, so many people have talked about like, hey, I'm short of staff member. I don't have enough assistants. Sometimes like my assistants have to go help out in hygiene. I'm working by myself, and a lot of times people are like, why don't you use a dry shield? And we were like, what's a dry shield? It's like, you don't know what a dry shield is? So again, that's an extreme case, right? When you don't have enough people and you actually have to work by yourself using a dry shield. But honestly, I mean, I use it all the time because I just want to make my life so much easier. So before we go any further, Brittany, what is Dryshield and how long have you been working with them? What's your position with the company here?
Nice. So yeah, just to refresh for you guys, Dryshield's an all-in-one isolation system. So basically, it would take the place of your traditional kind of isolation method. So think of rubber dams, cotton rolls, dry angles. Dryshield basically does the work of all of those in one easy-to-use system. I've been with Dryshield for about 4 years now. I'm the national sales manager, so it's been nice. I actually started in dental as an office manager prior to this, so I have an office experience. I know what it can do for an office. So it's been really great just watching us grow over the past how many years. And then, yeah, fast forward to now, like you said, that's still a common issue that we're hearing. A lot of offices still don't have enough staff, or it's hard, to keep staff. So Dryshield's really been a super helpful tool to have in the practice.
Now we're gonna share our screen pretty soon because there's some people who probably don't know what Dry Shield is, and people who maybe have used other products and they're kind of curious about like, well, why should I switch to Dry Shield? But before I even do that, I mean, there's one thing that stands out to me, but I'll say that, and then Brittany, you can add on to it. The one thing that stands out is that it's autoclavable, right? I
Yeah.
mean, here's the thing: once you start using a product like Dry Shield, you want to use it all the time. And honestly, if it wasn't autoclavable, and of course they do have a version where it's a disposable, but I like to use the autoclavable one because, man, it adds up. It adds up. So that's the main thing. Is there another big difference between Dry Shield and other competitors?
Yeah, so I think that, of course, is a huge one. Just think in terms of cost. It's more environmentally friendly. You just have more leeway with patient sizing, right? So it just kind of really goes a long way. But I think Dryshield as a whole, in comparison to other products, it's super simple, very user friendly. So you're not trying to do this crazy setup, installs in seconds. You actually have options on how you can set it up. So it's really easy to integrate into any practice. Like I said, we're not asking you to change your chair setups or do anything, crazy with that. And then, yeah, I think having both the autoclavable and single use option really just gives customers the option to choose what works for them, right? So sometimes it comes down to procedure specific. A lot of my offices like to use autoclavable for their everyday workhorse, but then when they're doing more invasive procedures, longer procedures where they want to have a disposable option, it's really been helpful to have that. So I think Dryshield just is, again, super easy, seamless, and it gives doctors options on how they want to set it up, what type of mouthpiece they want to use, so you can really customize it, to your wants and needs.
Yeah. So you know what? I mean, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we're gonna actually pull up the site here. And for those who are, new to this and don't know what dry shield is, so look, this is the dry shield right over here. Okay, it's a mouthpiece there that kind of isolates, keeps the tongue out of the way, isolates the area so that when you're doing dentistry, when you're doing the work you need to do, you have a clear field. And so that you don't get any contamination. That's the big thing. But I know a lot of people said, hey, it actually helps me ergonomically because I'm not battling a tongue, I'm not battling a cheek, this here. And again, it hooks right into the HVAC system. So again, talk a little bit about the design here, Brittany. I mean, obviously there's the
Yeah.
mouthpiece, but then there's the attachment that goes to HVAC. And yeah, you have it
Yep.
right there.
Yeah, I have it right here. This
It
is
looks
it.
kind of
Again,
complicated, but honestly, my team could just easily do it. So just talk about the ease of use there.
I love this for that reason because this can plug directly into any existing high-speed hosing. Now we have accessories too, so if you want to make it portable, if you need to split a line, again, it's really easy to install, but it's just such a clean setup. You just connect it to your own HVE line. You see there in the picture how it sits nice and clean on the toolbar, so it's always there ready to go when you need it. And then, yeah, you see the mouthpiece attached there. You just spray it with a little bit of water, connect it on, and you're ready to go. So again, it's just super easy to install, really easy to use. So that's my favorite word to use with Dryshield, because that's what we want, right? We want something that's easy, that's efficient, that's going to make your life easier. And I feel like Dryshield definitely does that.
I love that. I love that. So again, we just talked about a big difference between Dryshield and all the other competitors is the mouthpiece is autoclavable. But some people are probably wondering, well, what about this attachment here that goes right on the HVAC? Do we autoclave that? How's the care work with this particular piece right over here?
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm going to a different screen, but right here, this little area right here, how do we keep that clean? Is that autoclavable? How does that work?
Yeah, great question. And thanks for bringing that up. This adapter piece itself is completely autoclavable. So you can throw this in the autoclave after every patient if you choose. Most of our offices tend to do it at the end of the day as that extra step. But in terms of cleaning in between patients, you're simply going to use a class 2 sterilization wipe down the exterior like you are the rest of the room, and then run your enzymatic line flush to clear the interior. That's it. So again, super easy there in terms of maintenance, but it is completely autoclavable. So a lot of people will take them off at the end of the day, put them in the autoclave, reattach in the morning, and then you're good to go. And with our hosing accessories as well, so just so you can kind of see what those look like, those hosing accessories are also autoclavable, but same sort of treatment. Again, in between patients, just class 2 sterilization wipe, and then run the lines, and you're good to go.
So one of the things that I led off our live stream with is the fact that it helps me become more productive, right? It helps me kind of keep the tongue out of the way, cheek out of the way, keeps the dry feel. I can work so much faster, and it makes dentistry so much more enjoyable. But there's other things too. I mean, obviously limiting the parasols and also saving on all the consumables that add up whenever we do any kind of dentistry. Talk about those two things there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's still a big one and still something just to be aware of. Obviously COVID brought that kind of to awareness about Dryshield limiting aerosols, but it's really a big thing just to think about in general, right? A lot of people come to the office with the common cold or something going on, and just keeping those aerosols right at the source, not in the air, is just providing that extra layer of protection for everyone, from the patient to your assistants to the docs, really. So it's really been helpful with that. Just providing that continuous suction just keeps it all right at the source, right? So that's just really nice, in terms of that patient safety there. And like you said, with Dryshield, there's so many benefits that it can provide in terms of efficiency, speeding up procedure times, the aerosol reduction, keeping the tongue out of the way. I mean, you name an issue that you're probably having doing treatment, Dryshield can probably solve one or all of
absolutely.
them. So it's one of those products that, like I said, I've seen it firsthand being an office manager for a long time. I know what it can do for clinicians. It just provides a better patient experience, right? Like, I've had treatment done with this myself, and I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world, even from the patient side. So
yeah. Well, and something you brought up as far as like the aerosols go. I mean, again, that's one of those things that, during the pandemic, we understood like how crucial it was to keep the aerosols down, right? We were wearing face shields. Many of us are still doing those things, and we don't realize like what actually goes in the air, but also in your face. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest here, in your face, into your hair, all those things. If Dryshield can just eliminate just a little bit, it's totally worth it, on top of the fact that it makes your life so much easier. And then of course, the consumables, we were just talking about that, right? Before, you needed a bunch of cotton rolls, right? Yep. Maybe you need a triangle. Maybe you needed this and that, and all those things add up. And now you just have the Dryshield. You don't need a lot of those things, and it's better for the patient because they don't have like all this cotton in their mouth.
Yes. Yep. 100%. And that's what's so nice about it. Again, it's just because it provides a multitude of benefits, not only to the clinicians, right? Yourself, doctors, assistants, hygienists can use it. And then again, on the patient side, just speeding up procedures. I mean, for any patient, they're like, okay, anything that's going to make it go by faster, they love. But for the fact that they never feel like they're drowning, you don't run the risk of them swallowing anything or going down their throat. So I think overall, like I said, just, I know it's a big concern for providers wanting to make sure their patients have a good experience with you. I mean, Dryshield can really, really help with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so for those who are watching, maybe there's a lot of people out there in Nifty Thrift. There's a whole bunch of us that use Dryshield. I use Dryshield. I absolutely love it. And, whenever we bring up a Nifty deal, right, people are always like, okay, is it just for new people? Am I going to be left out and stuff like that? Look, we'll get into that. But for those who don't know about Dryshield, there's different ways to get started with Dryshield. So Brittany, talk about there's the tried and true starter package. There's the refill mouthpieces, but talk about all the different packages and how that kind of includes everybody. So whether you're a
Yeah.
newbie or a veteran, there's something for you with Dryshield.
Absolutely. And yeah, we call our starter kits exactly that because it's what you need to get started with the system. So if you're brand new to Dryshield, want to get set up, the starter kit's going to have everything you need. You get the full system, so the adapter with all the hosing accessories. You'll get all the different mouthpiece sizes, and you can choose with your starter kit whether you want the autoclavable pieces or the single-use ones. So again, really customizable there. It's always a great first order, and then you can purchase, your most commonly used mouthpieces thereafter. If you want to outfit additional chairs, you can buy these adapters, on their own. So the nice thing is with those kits, we sell everything a la carte. So like you're saying, Dr. Vo, we have the systems. If you're needing to outfit additional chairs, you can buy just the adapters themselves, use your own hosing. We have the refill boxes of the mouthpieces. So as you're using them and need to replenish, you'll have the option to get those mouthpiece sizes that you need. The one thing I want to mention with the autoclavable ones is a common question that we get is how many times can you sterilize the autoclavable mouthpiece?
That is a good question.
Yeah, and with that one, we recommend up to 50 times. So up to 50, 50. And why we say that is over time, they're just going to get a perceptible tint. So almost like change color after so many heat cycles, just become overly flexible. So the retraction isn't as sturdy. So you do want to replace them every so often. So they definitely can go beyond 50 uses, but just for that maximum, retraction strength, making it look nice and clear as long as possible. 50 is really kind of that magic number, and then you want to replace them. And then with our single-use ones, those are pretty straightforward. You just throw them away after each use if you're using the single-use option.
I mean, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I mean, we're not going to mention any competitors, but 15 uses, and if you were just buying the single use from someone else, you're looking at about over like almost $150 right there, probably more, right? $150 right there, right? So again, think about what you're getting as far as the refill mouthpieces with Dryshield, and then just imagine, okay, if I was having to buy this over and over again, it'd be like almost $200 there, right? $200 savings just right there. And I love the fact that you just brought up that, yeah, we have a lot of members who, buy the starter kits and they're using it for a few hops. And now maybe at this point of your career, now your hygienist wants one. Now your associate wants one, right? So if you're like me, I had to get some extra ones because, I work with my wife. She wanted it. My hygienist wanted it. So I either had to get another kit, or I would be without my Dryshield. Okay, so if you're in that same situation, we do have a nifty deal, but you're gonna have to wait because I want to talk about all the people who have been working with Dryshield. Who are customers of Dryshield. And here's the thing: you guys are probably thinking, all right, well, maybe my practice is not the right practice, not a Dryshield practice, right? Maybe I'm not a super GP. Maybe I'm a pediatric dentist. Well, I'll tell you what, right here is pediatric dentist. Maybe I just do a lot of like CAD CAM and whatnot. We got these people right here. Maybe I'm an oral surgeon. We got some people right here. Maybe the hygienist. We got all these things. So my point being, I'm gonna let Brittany talk about this. Talk about the customer base. Obviously, we're looking here. It's almost everybody in dentistry that uses Dryshield.
And that is so true. And I think, at the beginning when certain systems like this came out that, doctors maybe thought it's only for GPs or only for specific specialties, but really anyone can use it. And like I said, everyone from your assistants, your extended function assistants, your hygienists, think of 2-quadrant SRPs if they're helping with sealants. And then, really any specialty can use Dryshield. So you see it there from pediatrics, which it's very popular with pedo. Doing treatment on kids, we know is so much harder as is. But with something like this, it's our pediatric dentists, it's like a godsend for them. They can't work without it. So we've heard really positive feedback from our pediatric dentists. And think about all the other specialties, oral surgeons, prosthodontists, periodontists, right? They can all use this type of system. So it's been really beneficial for all. And it's really nice hearing that feedback as we've grown, and we grow with our customers, right? We know the type of procedures they're using it for, what it's really helped them, in terms, again, efficiencies or just patient safety. All of those things have been really great to hear the feedback. And one of the things that I love about Dryshield, and, it kind of hits home for me, is that, doctors have a personal connection to the product because they use it all day, every day. It really has changed how they do dentistry. And, people will go out of their way to tell us, especially when we're at trade shows and whatnot, how much they love the product, how it's changed how they do dentistry, how their patients have a better experience. And it really just, is great because it's one of those products that does what it's intended to do, and our customers swear by it. So it's definitely makes you feel good to know that you're making a difference for these practices.
Hey, so we talked about different types of practices that use Dryshield. You heard me talk about rave about how awesome Dryshield is. Brittany has told you about how many practices that love Dryshield that they've incorporated in their practice. How there's so many different practices that use it, but you know what? Don't take our word for it. Don't take our word for it. I mean, there's been awards, there's been on feature on Showcase. So again, Brittany, talk about this. This is our chance to kind of talk about this. I mean, Dental Town has given them a Town Award. Dental has been featured in Dental Shopper, Dental Advisor. I mean, the list goes on and on here. And again, Brittany, just talk about like the fact that how important this is to have, because there's so many companies out there. There's newer companies that have the same thing. But why is it so important to have the endorsement and have Dryshield featured in all these publications with all these organizations?
Yeah, I think it just definitely even gives us more credibility to know that, again, doctors like yourself, any sort of dental professional really can attest to what it does for them. And, again, this is just another way to show that credibility that it really does those things. And it is kind of perfect timing because the Townie Awards are happening now. So if any of you guys are Townie members, feel free to give us a vote. We love it. But yeah, and that's a lot of these, especially like the Townies, it comes from you guys, right? So you guys get to vote on your favorite products and products that make a difference, in your everyday lives. And I think this is definitely one of them. And for those who have had the opportunity to use it can probably attest to that as well. So it's nice to get, recognized for, all the things that Dryshield does.
And I wanted to point this out because again, there's so many products out there now. Before it was just Dryshield, maybe one other company, but there's so many new companies now. But the big difference here is that so many publications, so many organizations have endorsed Dryshield, have given them awards that was voted on. This is not like a pay to play type of thing. The Townie Awards, I mean, you have to vote, right? So again, Townie Choice Awards, Dental Product Shopper, all these other companies and publications. That's something to consider when you're thinking about, getting something that can help you just kind of isolate and practice better dentistry. But there's another reason. Why you should consider Dryshield, and that's because we have a Nifty deal, right? And you guys know that I'm not going to let Brittany escape without any Nifty deals and stuff like that. So again, the great thing, what I love about Dryshield, the whole company, is that they want to make sure that everyone's taken care of. So if you're a new person who's watching this right now is thinking, okay, I'm about to start a new practice. I need this. I don't have enough staff members. Brittany, I think you got something for them, right? But for the OGs like myself, that like, hey, I kind of need another unit because I'm like, everyone's taking mine. I think we got something for them as well. So let me go ahead and put the promos up.
Yeah, okay. So that's our favorite part. I always love to come here and bring promos for you guys. So we're doing some amazing deals right now. And if you can see right there on the screen, the buy one, get ones. That's like unheard of. We've never done this before. It's no brainer, right? You buy one system, you get one free. Same thing with these adapters. If you just need these adapter pieces, buy one, get one. So now's the time. If you, like Dr. Vo said, if you're a current user or even if you're new to Dryshield, on a buy one, get one, it gives you the opportunity to outfit at least 2 chairs right off the bat, right, for the price of one, which is so great. Like I said, we've never done anything like that before, but as we've again grown over the years, grown with our customers, we listen to your guys' feedback, what you guys need. And a lot of offices now are incorporating Dryshield in multiple operatories, right? Whether you have multiple providers using it or you do treatment out of multiple rooms, you want to have access to it, wherever you're doing work. So it's been really great with that. So the buy one, get ones. So that's on the system itself, which is the adapter with the hosing accessories, and then just the adapter itself, buy one, get one. And I always like to preface that with there's no quantity limits, right? So if you have a big practice and you want to buy 5 systems, we'll give you 5 systems.
Oh,
free.
That's
so
sweet.
just,
I mean, come on, guys.
That's
come on, guys. You gotta take advantage of that.
If you've been thinking about it or thinking about expanding ops, like I said, with the buy one, get one, it's no brainer, right? So that's the big one that I have for you guys. And then of
Now,
course we
Brittany, I
always like
see one
doing
right
deals.
here that I
Mm-hmm.
see this one right down here that I think would be perfect for. So there's a number of startups in our group, right? They're starting up a new practice. They probably don't have that many team members. I mean, talk about this: buy a Shield starter kit and get a system free. I mean, that's a pretty sweet
Yes.
deal for someone who doesn't have anything at all.
Yeah, love this deal exactly for that reason. Again, if you're someone new to Dryshield, you want to get the starter kit to get everything that you need to get up and running. If you purchase that starter kit, we're going to give you a whole nother system free. So same thing here. You'll get the full system set up, you'll get all the mouthpieces that you need, and you're going to get another system free. So right off the bat, you can work out of 2 rooms. If you have an extra provider with you, right, that gives you an opportunity to each have a system. So love that deal too. Just get that extra free system so you can work in multiple rooms. So great deal.
Now we got here again. We were talking about the people who have already taken advantage of all the nifty deals, right? They got a dry shield, they got an adapter in every single room. They're like, well, what about me? What about me? But I think these refills here helps them out. The people who already have all the dry shield units.
Absolutely. And we love doing deals on the mouthpieces for exactly that. For you guys who are using it consistently, need to replenish your mouthpieces, we have the 4+1 promo on both the autoclavable and the single-use mouthpieces. You can mix and match any sizes, right? So if you're an autoclavable user and you use primarily small and medium, do any combination, mix and match sizes. We'll give you a 5th box free. Same thing with those disposable ones. So, we always like to have deals around that can accommodate anyone. So whether you're a new user, you've been using it for a long time, if you just need more mouthpieces or if you need to outfit additional chairs, we have a deal for everyone. And we're really big on consulting with you guys. So if you ever have questions or are unsure of what you might need, call us. We'll be happy to walk you through it. We'll talk about the chairs that you have. We'll talk about the important things to you in terms of what you need in the system, and we'll help you get that. So we're
I
really
love that.
big
I was
on
about
making
to ask
sure.
you that. I was about to ask you that because again, there's so many times people are asking me like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Call Dry Shield." I'm not the expert here. I only know what works in my practice there. But if someone has questions, and they just want to make sure, like maybe what is the right, what's the right ratio of like small, medium, large mouthpieces? Like I don't know. I want to get someone who has the experience, who's worked with a bunch of offices. If they have questions like that, can they just reach out? Can they reach out to you guys at Dry Shield?
Absolutely. And we encourage it, right? Like we always want to hear from you guys, whether it's feedback, concerns, anything that's going on. We want to be there to help support that. And exactly that, if you're someone, not sure of what you might need for your practice, whether you're a current user and expanding ops or new to Dryshield, we'll help walk you through everything that you need. We provide virtual trainings and demonstrations. So we can pretty much show you everything virtually, right? Which is really nice. And that just, talks to that point of the ease of the system. If I can show everything virtually and I don't need to be there to install it, it's that easy. And that's
Wow.
the common thing that I get when I talk people through it. They're like, that's it. And I'm like, yeah, I wish
It's
I
true.
had more. Yeah.
It's absolutely true. So I love it. So guys, I will put this in the comments here. And again, this is a great deal, not only for people who already Dry Shield users like myself. I'm going to take advantage of these mouthpiece deals. But for those who had a starter kit before, and now you're getting to the point where you really need to expand, you need it like your hygienist wants one, your associate wants one. We got a deal there. And for all the OGs who has a Dry Shield adapter everywhere, you always need mouthpieces. You always need mouthpieces. We got the hookup right there. So awesome, Brittany. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll make sure we put that all there in the comments. I'm going to put this here. So, Brittany, before we jump off here, again, awesome. That's the great thing I love about Dry Shield. They not only bring some great deals, but they take everyone in consideration. So not only are the new people getting taken care of, all the people, all the OGs like us, we're getting taken care of too. So that's what I love about Dry Shield. So, Brittany, before we jump off, I do want to let people know, because we have members all across the country, where is the Dry Shield team going to be at next, so y'all can come by and say what's up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love that, right? We love going to trade shows. We love seeing everyone in person. That's my favorite thing to do. So we'll actually be at CDA North beginning of September. So that's September 8th through the 10th. That's in San Francisco. So we'll definitely be there. We have Zero World upcoming too. So Dent Supply Corona World in Vegas. Any show in Vegas is always a good time, right?
Oh, yeah.
So Yeah, so that's going to be a good one. And then we have a couple upcoming October, Great New York in November at the end of the year. So we do go to most of the
All right,
trade shows.
guys.
So we're around. So if you're in any region and there's a trade show going on, most likely we'll be there. So definitely come by and see us. Again, we love meeting everyone in person, being able to show you guys what Dryshield can do. And like I said, it's a true thing. It really, I mean it because I've seen it and I know what it can do. And you know firsthand that it's just
Oh
such
yeah.
a great product to have. And it really does what it's intended to do. So if you haven't tried it yet, you definitely should.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? So there is one thing I want to bring up. So first of all, guys, you don't have to wait until these shows. The only reason I brought this up is because I can promise you that once you start using Dryshield, you're gonna love it, and you're gonna probably want to say, what's up to everyone at the Dryshield team and tell them how much you like it, right? So that's a big shout out for them. But let's talk about this thing. I forgot to bring this up, but let's say someone gets a Dryshield unit and they tried it and they didn't like it, it didn't work out. What can they do? What can you guys do at that point if that ever happens? And honestly, I haven't really heard of anyone saying that. But just in case, you might be that first one. What
Yeah.
can you guys do for them?
Yeah, and you're right. We honestly, it's one of those things, once you try it, most people are like, how
Yeah,
did I work without this? But we're really flexible just in terms of returns or exchanges within 30 days. We want to make sure that we can help accommodate anything. A lot of times, if anyone has the initial, issues up front, there's a little bit of a learning curve. Like any new
yeah.
technology or anything, it's just a lot of times going through it. I definitely recommend doing a virtual training with us. We have great resources on our website that kind of walk you through any of those little things, right? So a lot of times it just comes down to that little bit of a learning curve, getting a feel for it, knowing what mouthpiece size to choose. Then from there, it almost becomes second nature, right? You don't
Yeah.
really even have to think about it. You see a patient and yep, they're a size medium. You don't even have to think twice. So a lot of times, again, just a little bit of a learning curve like anything else. But most people, I feel like, have been exposed to either Dryshield or competitor products in schools. Most dental schools now have these type of products, whether you've been an associate at a practice somewhere, right? Isolation systems are definitely a lot more common for the fact of what they can do, right? It's initial investment, but think about how much you save in the long term with, again, all those consumables, disposable costs. You think about how much more you can do in terms of production. I mean, it pays for
And
itself.
decrease the stress in your life. I mean, that's almost
100%.
priceless there. So guys, look, I
Yeah.
mean, Dryshield has all the support already in place, whether it's training, whether it's being able to be there and talking to you guys, do the virtual, all those things. There's no reason why you can't succeed with Dryshield, right? And now we just took a big barrier, and that's the cost, right? We have this super nifty deal. So I'll put that in the comments. And so again, Brittany really means it. If you guys have any questions, reach out. And when you reach out, make sure you ask for the nifty deal, okay? Because again, they don't know who's coming in. Make sure you ask for the nifty deal. They'll hook you up. But Brittany, thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank
And
you so much for having me.
we'll make sure that if they see you at any shows, guys, Nifty members, say what's up to Brittany, okay?
Yes, for sure. We love it. So yeah, thank you
Awesome.
again for having us. It's always great to be here and work with you guys. And like Dr. Vo said, if you ever have questions or need help with anything, please call us. We're more than happy to help you guys. So yeah,
Awesome. Thank you,
pleasure.
Brittany. All right, guys, we'll
Thanks,
see you
Dr.
all next
Vo.
time.
Thanks, everyone.